What is going on, everybody? We wanted to record a video for you guys since we're not doing the podcast this week on its conference tournament week in NCAA basketball. So we wanted to give you guys the top six NCAA basketball tournament winners, our projections. Some kicked off tonight. This is Tuesday. We'll put this out on Wednesday morning. Most of them are going to be kicking off on Wednesday. So we're going to kind of run through the top six conference tournaments and give you guys our predictions of our winners. So here we go. What a year for someone who hates Kansas, right? I don't really think that they have a shot to win this one, as a lot of people probably think as well. I think it's going to come down to Texas Tech and Kansas State. Texas Tech beat them in January by 6, and I think it happens again here. They're a strong team, and they have the second best defense in the NCAA. So I think they are going to be able to hold them tight. It's going to be a really low-scoring game because K-State has the sixth best defense, but I think Texas Tech pulls away with this one and claims the Big 12 title.
So for me, the Big 12 is my biggest rogue winner. I have a lot of my picks are vanilla, or people they can see winning. The Big 12, though, I have someone very, very different. I have Iowa State winning the Big 12 championship tournament, or the Big 12 tournament. Number 5, Iowa State, the 5 seed, simply because, they do a lot of things well that, teams that tend to do well in March and in the tournaments do. They score a lot. They have almost 78 points per game. They keep their turnovers low, so they have about 10, almost 11 turnovers a game, but they shoot a good clip from the free throw line. They're shooting 73% from the free throw line, also shoot 36% from three. So, if you look at that against some of the competition they have in the Big 12 tournament, they kind of win in a lot of those categories. So I think that with that being said, they will end up taking home the crown and kind of do a little bit of a shocker in the Big 12 tournament. So I have number 5, Iowa State winning the Big 12 at plus 600. Pretty good bet if you want to kind of take my word for it.
Next, moving on to the ACC, really the biggest cloud surrounding this conference is Zion going to be playing? And it looks like a no. So I'm going to be taking a championship game of Virginia and UNC, with Virginia winning, mainly because I can't stray away from how good their defense is. I know they blew. They're the first 1 seed to ever get upset last year. They had a great defense, but I think that as having the best defense in the nation, this is their year to capitalize. And with Zion Williamson out, I think that they can do that and win the ACC title. So Virginia winning the ACC.
The ACC is kind of vanilla for me. I just don't see anybody beating Virginia. I know, yes, they flopped last year and had a bad, game in the first round of the NCAA tournament, but I just don't see that happening. I see them kind of winning, and there are no gambling odds really out there right now because they already started. So, but I just see Virginia winning that
one. I think this one's going to be the most interesting. They're known a lot for the defensive battles. Big Ten has good defense when they play each other, and the scores are low. That's just known. I think that can make this one pan out to be a weird one. Indiana's been playing hot lately. I have them making a deep run because of that recent success, and going off of that, they could, hey, if we win, we might be able to make it into the tournament while having a terrible record. But I don't see them quite pulling it off and making that miracle run to the tournament. So I have Wisconsin and Michigan in the end, with Wisconsin taking it. I've seen Michigan fall off in the second half of games, deep in the second half lately, and it kind of scares me and it makes me weary to pick them. So I'm going to pick Wisconsin. Ethan Happ better have a game if he's going to want to win the Big Ten title, and I think he can do that.
The Big Ten is one that I kind of struggled with. I went back and forth on it. I flip-flopped. But I don't have Michigan State winning. I flip-flop between Purdue and Michigan. I think Purdue and Michigan are going to square off as a 2 and 3 seed in that the semifinal round, and the winner of that game will get Michigan State in the championship game. And I think whoever wins that game against Purdue and Michigan will end up beating Michigan State. I can't really tell you why, and I think Purdue's played a tougher road this year. They're 13th in the RPI. Michigan State, I've seen them lose big games at times. When it comes down between Purdue and Michigan in the semifinal, I just think Purdue's better from the free throw line. They're better from three. Again, two things that I think are key successes in the tournament. I mean, Purdue even shoots 37% from the three, so I just think that's something to watch out for. So I have Purdue, the number 2, Purdue Boilermakers winning the Big Ten. Again, if you want to gamble on them, they are plus 300. A lot of these, who you pick to win the conference tourneys are pretty much good locks.
SEC, which is one of the top conferences, and really I think that there's a few strong teams here that'll be a threat in the tournament and a threat to win the SEC tournament. But outside of that, I think it's really watered down. Your main teams are LSU, Tennessee, and Kentucky. LSU just lost Will Wade as their head coach. I think it's a big component for them to be able to make a run and win. I do think that they'll be able to, have the talent to make it to the finals of the SEC tournament, but they're going to lose to either Tennessee or Kentucky, and I have them losing to Kentucky because I think that Kentucky's going to upset Tennessee because of their recent matchup that they had when Tennessee destroyed them by 19, I think it was. So I have Kentucky winning the SEC championship. Shocker, right?
Moving on to the SEC is one that I think is going to shock a lot of people. I don't see LSU making it to the championship game because of the whole controversy that's going on with Will Wade in their program right now. And I don't see the number 2 seed Kentucky making it to the championship game either. I actually have South Carolina and Tennessee squaring off in the championship game. I almost had Arkansas upsetting LSU in the quarterfinals, but I decided I think LSU's going to get past that game. But I actually have Tennessee raising the crown in the SEC. I know they came out of the gate hot, and they were a hot team, but I just think they kind of find their pace again, and they were going to end up winning the SEC tournament. Remember, they lost in the championship game last year. I was actually at that game. They lost to Kentucky, so I think they get their revenge this year and actually win.
The Big East. This is another one of the conferences that produce a lot of Cinderella teams, and I have a favorite in here. It's Marquette. I've been riding them all season. I've told you guys before that I love Marquette. They have fallen off big time the last few weeks, though. They've lost 4 straight, but I think they can grind together and sneak out a title win against Villanova. They already beat them once in the season, then they came back and lost to them, but I think that they can avenge that, win the Big East title, beat Villanova, and get a really good seed in the tournament.
On to the Big East, it's not part of the Power 5, but it is big when it comes to basketball. In the Big East, I, have a pretty vanilla championship game with Nova and Marquette, but I have Marquette winning. Marquette's been solid all year. I know Travis has been really high on them, and I'm high on them as well. Plus 250. I just think Marquette does a lot of solid things that, again, a lot of teams don't do. Shooting well from the three-point line, and also shooting well from the free throw line. So again, almost 40% from 3, which is insane. So I think they're going to be a really solid team in March.
Moving on to the Pac-12. This is probably one of the weaker of the top conferences in college basketball. I don't really know a ton about these teams because I don't watch them. We're in Central Time. It's really late when those games come on. But I can see a handful of these teams competing for a shot at the tournament here. So I'm going to go off of Jarrett's preseason pick, and I'm going to go out on a limb and take Oregon. They're a 6 seed. They're 19-12, so it's not crazy for them to make a run and win the Pac-12 and go to the NCAA tournament. I think they have what it takes. They have size and Bol. I think that they have just an explosive team that can make a run in this Pac-12 tournament, get in the tournament, and make a deep run there too. So I'm going to pick Oregon to win the Pac-12 on a limb.
March. Then lastly, Pac-12, again, a super vanilla pick. I have Washington winning at plus 250, number 1 seed Washington Huskies. I do have them playing Oregon in the championship game. I think Oregon is going to make a run in the tournament and really in their conference tournament solidify their spot for a decent seed or even a berth into the NCAA tournament. So again, I have number 1 Washington winning the Pac-12 at plus 250. So
I hope you guys enjoy these conference tournaments this week. We have a giant episode coming up next week about Selection Sunday and going on in the tournament. This is a huge time of the year, and we're super excited to get to go forward with it with you guys. So, peace.
Yeah, yeah, man, you know who it is. Friday fucking night, we bout to do this right. Dicky rolling to the